Hello! Now that we have downloaded all the necessary programs, let's write our first project. Once you double-click on IntelliJ, this window will appear. To create a new project, we will click on the New Project button. Here, by default, the IntelliJ has already seen the Java development kit that we installed in the previous video and selected it. We will continue to click Next. Here we don't have to select anything, we will click Next. And here we will have to give our project a name. Let's call it My First Project. We will press Finish. And our project will be generated. If after creating your project nothing will appear on the left side of the screen, we have a button here that says Project. If we click on it, we will immediately see on the left side of the screen the complete structure of our project. We will work on the source folder. The first thing we need to do is create a class. We will press right click on the source folder, New Java class. Let's call it My First Class. We can see that the .java extension file has been created. The content of our class will be between those two braces. In order to work, we will have to declare a main method, which looks like this. We will write public static void main string args. We will open again two braces. All we need to work on will be inside this main method. The first instruction to display a message on the console looks like this. We will write system.out.println. After the println keyword, we will have to open two parentheses. Inside these parentheses, we have to write the message that we want to be printed. Whenever we want to display a message on the console, we will have to put it in quotes. So we will open two quotes, and if we press the quotation marks on the keyboard, the final quotation mark will also be generated. Let's write hello everyone here. After each instruction that we want to display, it is mandatory to put a semicolon at the end. If we don't do this, we can see that the IntelliJ suggests that we have a problem, highlighted in red. Now let's run our program. Click on this green triangle next to the main method and click Run My First Class. We can see that at the bottom appeared a console in which was printed the message that we passed in the parentheses of our system.out.println instruction. Let's display another message using the same instruction. We will write system.out.println. Again, our message will have to be in quotes. Let's write this is the second instruction that I have executed. Mandatory at the end, never forget, we will have to write a semicolon. If we run our application again, we can see that both our instructions have been executed from top to bottom. The first time we printed hello everyone, and the second time this is the second instruction that I have executed. After executing each system.out.println instruction, we can see that the message passed in the quotation marks has been printed in the console, after which our cursor went down to the next row and printed the second sentence. We have another instruction called system.out.print. Let's write it also. System.out.print. No line this time. Inside these parentheses, we will write another sentence. Let's write my name is. We will run the application. And now we can see that after executing instruction 2, the text "my name is" was printed on the console, after which our program ended. Let's say we want to display another message through the systemout.print instruction. Let's write our name, Tudor. Systemout.print Tudor. At the end, semicolon. When we run the application, we can see that instruction 3 and 4 were executed on the same row. What is the difference between systemout.print and systemout.println? Exactly that. When we execute a systemout.println instruction, our message placed in parentheses will be printed, after which our cursor will move to the next line. When we execute a print instruction, this time our message "my name is", which was put in our first instruction, was printed, but the second message was printed on the same line. Because the systemout.print statement prints what we give it in parentheses, but our cursor stays on the same row. Automatically, by printing another instruction after that, it will be printed on the same line and the cursor will also remain on that line. Let's now talk about Java data types. In the real world, we use information. This information can be text, it can be numbers, it can be truth values or characters. When I say "my name is Tudor", I just said a text. When I say 1, 2, 3, 34.4, I'm saying some numbers. True or false may be the only possible values for truth, and A, B, C, X, Y, Z may be letters, characters. In programming, our text will be written as a string, and it must be enclosed in double quotes, at the beginning and at the end, just as you saw that we passed our messages in the systemout.print and systemout.println instructions. Truth values are Boolean, and there can be only two values for that, true or false. Our letters will be of type character, and these, unlike strings, must always be enclosed in single quotes, not double quotes. If I say lowercase a or uppercase A, these are characters. 1 can also be registered by our compiler as a character. This also applies to special signs. Numbers in Java can be of several types. They can be integers of type int. I can say -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on. We can also have double numbers, which are written with a dot. For example, let's say 2.32, 55.3, and so on. Float numbers are also used to encapsulate fraction values, but it is mandatory to write the letter F at the end of the value. Long numbers can encapsulate larger values, and the letter L must be specified at the end each time. Any int type number can have values from -2,147,000,000 to +2,147,000,000. If we want to use a larger number than that, we'll have to use the long data type. Let's go back to IntelliJ. When we used our last print statement, our cursor remained automatically after the last word printed. That is, after Tudor. To move the cursor to the next row, we can use an empty systemout.println instruction. We can write system.out.println, open parentheses, and leave it as it is. But instead of writing that, we have an abbreviation to use these instructions. We can write the letters S, O, U, T, and after that, we just have to press the Tab key. By doing this, our systemout.println instruction will be automatically generated for us. Let's run the application. The moment I run the application, I won't have anything different here. Instead, in the computer's memory, our cursor moved to the next row. In the console, we can print all the data types we've talked about so far. So far, you've seen that we can print strings. We can also print numbers. We can print the numbers 1 and 999, for instance. We will write a SOUT tab 1. SOUT tab 999. We can also print double numbers. System.out.println 2.45. System.out.println, we can print float numbers. 2.45 f. We can also print long numbers. Let's write a System.out.println. Here we will pass a number that exceeds the limit of 2,147,000,000. Here we see a problem underlined in red. We are trying to print an integer number that is too large, too big. If we put the letter L at the end, our problem will be solved. Let's run the application. Here we also have a button that does that. Running the application again, we see that all our information was printed in the console. Truth values, as I said, can be of two types. We can either have true or false. Let's print them. System.out.println true, System.out.println false. If we run the application again, we will see the value true and false printed in our console also. Let's also print two characters. We will press the single quote button. We will write A. We can see that inside those single quotes we will only be allowed to write a single letter. Let's print A. Let's print %. If we run the application again, we will also see these characters in the console. In the next video, we will talk about variables.